श्री जयराम ठाकुर जी, आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री हिमाचल प्रदेश डॉक्टर शेखर सी मुंडे जी, डायरेक्टर जनरल of the prestigious CSIR, and Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan ji, Director CSIR CBRI Roorkee, scientists, academicians, architects, and also my dear students, distinguished guests, and others who are watching this program virtually. My dear sisters and brothers, it is indeed my pleasure to connect with you virtually to inaugurate the Platinum Jubilee Foundation Day celebration of Central Building Research Institute, what we call in short CBRI. Started as a building research unit in 47, CBRI is one of the 37 national laboratories of the prestigious Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. I am happy to note that CSIR and CBRI have been greatly contributing to nation building over the decades. I also convey my deep appreciation to the scientists of this institute for having taken responsibility of constructing 5 COVID hospitals in Himachal in record time. I am also happy to have inaugurated today the makeshift hospital at Naraghar in Solan district and also in Tanda in Kulu. Himachal Pradesh, these two institutes are very much required, and that too it's being done during the Platinum Jubilees celebrations, and the Platinum Jubilees Pseudo-Dynamic Laboratory and the Center for Excellence in Cultural Heritage at CSIR CBRI. The idea of our home evokes a warm feeling in our hearts. Wherever we are and whatever we may become, at the end of the day, it is an amazing feeling to go back to the place we call our home. Over the course of human history, people might have progressed from simple mud-walled huts to sophisticated skyscrapers, but the emotion remains the same. What has changed, of course, in the recent decades is the criticality of real estate to our economy. Real estate market size in India is expected to reach $1 trillion by 2030. It will contribute to nearly 13% of our country's GDP by 2025. Housing and construction propels many ancillary sectors and is one of the largest employers in the country, both in the organized sector and unorganized sectors. The sector's importance both to the common man and to the microeconomy is bound to grow in the coming years. With this kind of rapid growth, environmental and energy concerns in the housing sector have taken the center stage. With significant economic growth and a bourgeoising middle class over the years, the dream of owning a home is not just of the few anymore. It is our paramount responsibility to provide affordable housing to an average Indian household. In this regard, the central government's focus on housing is also clearly evident from the various schemes Pradhana Mantri Awas Yojana, Amrut, Hriday, aimed at improving the ease of living. ये मेरा सौभाग्य रहा जब ये अमृत हृदय प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना का कल्पना हुआ, उसका शुरुआत हुआ, उस समय मैं केंद्र सरकार में इन विभागों का मंत्री का दायित्व निभा रहे थे। तो आज मेरे लिए बहुत हर्ष का विषय है, हमारा प्रिय प्रदेश, सुंदर प्रदेश हिमाचल में हम लोग आज भी वर्चुअल हो, और ये कुछ जो वहाँ नया निर्माण आया उसका शुभारंभ आज यहाँ से मैं कर रहा हूँ. My dear sisters and brothers, while we aim to achieve the dream, we have to ask ourselves the following questions. We have mastered the art of construction, but is it available for all? Question 2. What type of buildings we want to envision for our future generation? Question 3. What kind of space do you want to live and work in? We need to ponder over these questions and the related issue. Today, I will try to look into the issue of building along 3 dimensions: equity, quality, and substantiality. The first is equity. With increasing urbanization and migration from rural areas, our cities are struggling to find sufficient space to accommodate all its residents in a reasonable way. This has led to the overcrowding, shortage of dwelling units, and high rents. When a family lives in a crammed locality with hardly any ventilation or sunlight reaching the homes, it naturally affects their well-being. We have seen in the recent COVID experience that people living in crammed areas, in urban areas, they were more prone to this. Our living space certainly leaves an impact on our physical and mental health. This has proved, COVID. It has highlighted the need for creating living places with ample ventilation and natural light. It is the duty of the CBRI, the state governments, planners, architects, and all concerned. My earnest appeal is, you see to it and plan creating living places with ample ventilation and natural light. We are a fortunate country. We have so much natural light. We are ourselves are depriving that and trying to live in closed environment and without proper ventilation or natural light. Natural light is free. It is not charged. But we are not taking advantage of the same. I suggest authorities to look into the feasibility of making adequate light and air circulation a norm for approval of any building plan. The CBRI should make it a point to see that any buildings it construct or recommend, they should really have the air circulation and the light. In a populous country like ours, housing for all is no doubt a daunting task. Also, the house we aim to build has to be not only affordable but also good on aesthetics, safety, and durability. For this, we need to take full advantage of the latest technology advancements in this area, such as prefabricated buildings, factory-made housing, and precast stone blocks. I am told the institute like CBRI have been leading from the front, and I call upon you all to push further to scale up the application of these technologies. That is the need of the hour. Our aim should be to create happy living and working spaces in cities where individuals, whatever their economic background, are able to deliver their full potential. The government has been proactive in creating the right ecosystem for the real estate sector to thrive in India. The Progressive RERA Act protects the rights of home buyers, at the same time boosting the investments in the real estate industry. Incidentally, this legislation was also brought when I was minister concerned. And it's proving to be very, very useful. The Prime Minister was keen to implement his pet projects of the three-line mantra: reform, perform, and transform. Transformation of the nation, transformation of the people's lives. We have a huge housing shortage in rural areas too. The government have launched an ambitious Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin with an aim to provide a Pakka house to all by 2022. I have time and again reiterated the vision of Sri Abdul Kalam and Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, who called for providing urban amenities in rural areas. This is very much required. Urban amenities in rural areas. One, preventing migration, sometimes needless migration. Second, providing urban amenities in rural areas. The technology is improving, information is reaching. You can't expect rural people just to watch what is happening and knowing what is the latest technology without getting access to it. So, let us focus more on urban amenities in rural areas. If we can provide good connectivity, employment opportunities, and proper housing in villages, we can contain rural-urban migration and reduce the pressure on cities. There is a huge demand in rural areas for improved housing and amenities, and the private sector should step up to utilize this opportunity. Not to be confined to urban areas alone, the private sector must also enter the housing program in a massive way in the rural areas. The second pertinent issue is quality. Given that we spend most of our lifetime inside built structures, we have to think about the quality of spaces we are making. Aesthetics are important, but it should not take precedence over utility. Our country is prone to multiple hazards and disaster-resilient designs, and construction practices must be the norm in all buildings, particularly in areas like Himachal, Uttarakhand, which are prone to natural calamities. I have been told that the CBRI has been playing an important role in improving disaster mitigation in buildings, including fire engineering. I appreciate this, and I would like the CBRI to do research on incorporating resilience in mass housing too. Finally, we have to address the issue of sustainability. With increasing urbanization, 60% of our population is expected to live in cities by 2060. With 39% of energy-related CO2 emissions in the world, buildings are already a major contributor of green gases. That is why there is an urgent need to make green buildings a new normal by creating awareness about this concept among the people. Building materials are another area of concern. We do not have infinite supply of traditional construction materials like brick, wood, cement, steel and sand. Furthermore, their production often energy intensive. So it is high time that we revisit our roots and learn from the traditional practices followed by our ancestors. I urge the architects to promote nature-friendly homes by increasing the use of locally available materials, green materials. Reduce, reuse and recycle should be the mantra, and civil engineers should be able to gainfully utilize the byproducts of other industries such as fly ash from power plants. My sisters and brothers, along with the principles of equity, quality and sustainability, we need to take a re-look at the technology we employ in construction. The construction technologies employed in the country are still largely labor and material intensive, and this often leads to time and cost overruns. Institutes like CBRI must lead the way in latest technology advancements in the field of construction such as 3D, printed housing, prefabricated housing and net zero energy buildings. Another area that needs impetus is the skill development of our masons and construction workers. Our workforce should be well trained to adapt to modern construction techniques in the fast changing scenario. Unskilled manpower in this sector must become skilled manpower. My dear sisters and brothers, I have been told about the various efforts of CBRI, including your contribution to programs such as Navodaya schools and Indira Awas Yojana. I appreciate that your institute played a pivotal role in reconstruction of earthquake damaged schools and hospitals in Nepal. I once again congratulate CSIR, CBRI for developing technology for construction of lightweight transit hospital structures to support the government in tackling the COVID-19. I wish the Institute will continue to be at the forefront of the housing revolution in India and work for our shared dream of housing for all. I would like to congratulate all the scientists, technicians, and other academic staff working in the CBRI, and also would like to compliment the CSRI for collaborating with this and then doing a great job. We are proud of your achievements, but people have a lot of expectations from you. I would like to compliment the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh for taking initiative and helping this institute in setting up this makeshift hospitals, which are the dire need there in the state. And I also would like to compliment the Minister, Dr. Harshavardhan, for heading such a prestigious, important ministry and providing guidance from time to time. Thank you very much. My best wishes to all of you for your future endeavors. Namaskar. Jai Hind.